What is going on, ladies and hair on my mouth, long hair. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Mark Roden, and today we are going to be ranking all 24 Subaru sports cars ever made. Now, I want to make a couple disclaimers before we get into this. First of all, not all these cars are technically sports cars. They're all just cars that we all love somewhat. You know what I mean? If I only did Subaru actual, like, quote-unquote sports cars, there would only be like 10. Subaru doesn't have that many actual sports cars. So it's just cars that we all like, enthusiast cars. For example, the Forester is on there. Like, that's not technically a sports car, but it's cars that we like. On top of that, this is all personal opinion, okay? So it's not based on performance or anything like that. These aren't like, I'm not going off price or performance or any one certain thing. It's just all a combination of everything about the car that I like and don't like or whatever like that. Next is these cars. I am including the wagon versions of them. A lot of Subarus have the normal one and then the wagon version as well. I'm not going to separate that. That would be just pointless. So if I mention a car and you're like, oh, where's the wagon version of that car? It's there. It's the same car. Most of the time, they're the same cars. And finally, if I do miss any cars, please let me know in the comment section what they were, and I'll tell you where I think they should rank. But without further ado, let's go right into the video. Number 24, my least favorite Subaru sports car, is any Subaru race car. I do this one all the time for every one of these videos. I've done ranking all Mitsubishis, all Toyotas, and I always put the race cars at the last place because it feels like a cheat code almost. They're pretty much just better versions of their other cars anyway, and so I just like to throw them here at the last spot and just let everybody else kind of decide where they think they should go. When I say sports cars, I usually mean cars that us as normal people know and enjoy and stuff like that. Coming in at number 23, though, the last of the actual list, is the Subaru 360. This is one of those cars that is not technically a sports car, but I feel like it's an enthusiast car enough for me to include it in the list. Like, everybody likes the Subaru 360. It's a popular car. It's not an actual sports car, but it's very popular, so that's why I'm going to include it. This road is horrible. I hate that, dude. I hate that. They're doing road work on it right there, so I just go around it completely. But anyway, yeah, it's a Subaru 360. It's that mini car that they had way back in the day. Obviously, it's not really that cool to me. Coming into the number 22 spot is going to the Subaru Crosstrek. Once again, the Crosstrek is not a very sport-oriented car, but I think it's an enthusiast car. A lot of people talk about it. A lot of people know about it. And if you like off-roading and stuff, then it's a great car. I'm just not a big fan of the off-roading thing, even though we're talking about Subarus. But if I'm gonna buy like an off-roader, I'm gonna buy like a rally car. Jesus Christ, dude! Like, look at these roads. Thanks, man, for doing that. Anyway, yeah, Crosstrek. Freaking, it's pretty average. Not my favorite. Next up, at the number 21 spot, is going to the Subaru Baja. My dad had one of these. I think they're very underrated cars. However, they're not that great in terms of Subaru's lineup, but they are very cool, like, unique, different cars. If you want something that's very interesting, this is a car for you. It's just not my personal cup of tea, so it's going to be all the way here at number 21. But yeah, they're pretty unique boys, if you will. Coming in at the number 20 spot, breaking its way into the 20 spot, is the newest iteration of the Subaru WRX. Talk about a disappointing car. WRXs have always been pretty cool. This one came out, and I feel like the entire car community kind of agreed that it was just a letdown. It's not like bad in terms of performance. It's pretty good in terms of performance, but it looks horrible. It doesn't look like a real WRX. Nobody likes it. I don't like it. It's here at number 20. Honestly, it should be a little bit lower, I feel like. Yep, that was fun. So stupid, dude. Anyway, coming in at the number 19 spot is the 5th generation of the Subaru Legacy. This is definitely, they're kind of like straying away from cool Legacies now. They even have a 6th generation. I didn't even include the 6th gen in this video because it doesn't have anything sporty about it whatsoever. And in my opinion, the 5th gen is very boring compared to the other Legacies out there. So it's not only my least favorite Legacy, but one of my least favorite of the Subaru family for sure. Coming in at number 18 is a car that I never even knew existed before doing research for this video. It's the Subaru XT. looks very weird. Subaru does that. They had like the SVX, the Bajas. They do some weird cars here and there, and this is one of them. This thing looks awkward. What was that? This thing looks very, very strange, to be honest, but I can understand why people like it. Not my thing, definitely not my thing. But like I said, I get it. I get the idea behind the car, so I gotta give them credit where credit is due. I just wish, you know, it looked a little bit better. It's just, that's all. But anyway, coming in at the number 17 spot is going to the first generation Subaru Forester, or the SF Forester. I love Foresters. If you know me, you know I love Foresters. But when compared to the rest of Subaru's incredible lineup, it doesn't really hold that good of a candle to the rest of them. At the end of the day, it is just a hatchback that doesn't really do anything super special. I like them a lot. I think they look really cool. I think they can do a lot of unique stuff that a lot of other cars can't, because they have the hatchback. Like, they're like a crossover SUV, right? But that's still a cool crossover SUV. So I give them credit for that. But compared to the rest of Subaru, I just don't think they're that great. So they're going to be sitting there at the number 17 spot. Coming in at number 16 is the second generation of the Subaru BRZ. This is another car that, in my opinion, was kind of disappointing, but everybody else did like it. So I give it that's good, obviously. And it's definitely cooler than the new WRX, I'll give it that. But I just think that the older BRZ looked a whole lot better, and this one looks very, like, childish almost. And on top of that, it's like all the performance upgrades that they've done to the new one aren't really enough to counteract what they didn't do with the new one, if that makes any sense. Like, the looks are ugly enough to take off the extra like 10 horsepower that the car makes. So I just like this is the first gen a whole lot better. I think it was a little disappointing in my opinion. But coming in at number 15 is going to the Subaru Legacy 3rd generation. This thing, it's pretty mid. That's why I'm putting it here at the mid spot. There's not really much bad to say about it. Like, I don't not like the car at all. I like it. It's a pretty cool car, but I also don't love it. You know what I mean? It's just, it's very average, very run-of-the-mill Subaru. They did come out with a GT Legacy for this gen, and that's pretty cool. But besides that, just nothing super special. Next up, however, is going to the wonderful Subaru RX Turbo. I was going to say I didn't know this car before I'm making this video, but I actually did, because this is the Subaru that they used for the Hoonigan machine thing that they've recently done. And they took to the Goodwood Festival of Speed, and they like destroyed the Goodwood Festival of Speed. Very cool when you see it done in that way. When it's stock, however, another very average car in my opinion. I do really like the looks. They have that very retro boxy styling to them, and I think that's awesome, but its performance isn't super great. It's not anything to write home about, but it is a very unique car, and you can make it obviously very cool because Hoonigan did that. So I like that about it. So it's got the number 14 spot. However, coming in at 13th, Friday the 13th, is the Subaru Brat. Talk about an underrated car. Now we're getting into the official Subarus that are, in my opinion, just cool. All the rest of these cars are pretty cool, and the Subaru Brat is a great start to that. It makes ridiculously low horsepower. It's not fast at all. Even off-road, it really isn't that practical when compared to like other off-road vehicles, but it is just so awesome. You're lying to yourself if you are saying that the Subaru Brat is not an awesome car. It's so cool. There's a lot of bad stuff about it, but I don't care. I don't think anybody cares. It's unique. It's awesome, man. I love it. God bless the Subaru Brat. Coming in at number 12, however, is going to the first WRX that's actually a WRX in my opinion, with the Bugeye WRX. This is definitely my least favorite of the WRX line. It's also one of the worst of the WRX line. Now the Blobeye and the Hawkeye are technically the same. They have the same engine and all that stuff, but they did change things from generation to generation to make them just a little bit better than the last one. And so if you think about it, the Bugeye is the worst. It just gets, in my opinion, it's just not the, it doesn't compare to the rest of them. Obviously besides the new one, which I think is just a letdown. But yeah, I still love the Bugeye, don't get me wrong. It's obviously still a very cool car, but compared to the rest of the WRXs, I don't think it's that great. Coming in at number 11 is going to the Subaru SVX. I made a whole deep dive on the SVX, and a lot of you guys watched it, and so a lot of you guys like that car, obviously. And I do like it. It's very different. Again, Subaru, once again, they do that kind of stuff. But Compared to the rest of Subaru's line, it doesn't hold a candle. It was definitely a disappointing car when it came out too. A lot of people were like expecting a really cool Subaru sports car, and this one was just kind of average. But nowadays, looking back on it, I do like it a lot, but it's just not, if you actually like look into the car, it really isn't that great, but it's just like kind of a guilty pleasure kind of car. Either way, coming in at the number 10 spot is going to the SG, or second generation of the Subaru Forester. It's just better than the first gen in every way, and it's around the same price as the first gen nowadays, which is really cool. It looks better, it handles better, it's faster, it's better off-road, it has more space, it's more reliable, it's more safe. Everything about it is just a better version of the first gen Forester, and so I think I put it a lot higher. I love Foresters, you guys already know that, and the SG is just the better version, so that's why I put it here. But next up is going to the second generation of the Subaru Legacy now, which pretty much took what the first gen of the Legacy did and didn't really add on to it that much, which is why I kind of think it deserves the number 9 spot compared to the rest of the Legacies, which are going to be a little bit higher, obviously. It is cool, it's very cool, and I like seeing them. Would I ever buy one? No, I don't think I would. I think it's just a very, out of the Legacy line, once again, it's a very average one. Gets 9th on this list though, so it's obviously very cool, but just not that great. Coming in at the number 8 spot, however, is going to the Hawkeye, the WRX. Once again, I love the WRXs. The WRX line is obviously the poster child for Subaru. But this one is another car that I just don't think did enough. It's just, there's a lot of Subarus like that. Obviously, again, I like it. It's a very cool car. I would love to own one. But compared to the other 2 WRXs, or 3 WRXs that we haven't gone over yet, I just don't know if it holds a candle to them. Coming in at number 7, however, is going to the 4th generation of the Subaru Legacy. Actually, is it the 4th gen or did I write the 3rd gen? Hold on. Yeah, it's the 4th gen, okay. 4th generation of the Subaru Legacy. This is the one that everybody kind of knows and loves as the Legacy GT, and it absolutely deserves that. It is a very, very underrated car for sure. It's pretty much a budget WRX that nobody talks about whatsoever, when they absolutely should, because they sit like around the $5,000 mark. If you want a WRX, but you don't have WRX money, or you don't want to spend WRX money, buy a Legacy GT 4th gen. They're the same thing, if not better. So they're amazing cars. I love them. But anyway, coming in at the number 6 spot is going to the Stinkeye WRX STi. This is the one that everybody knows as the hatchback one, even though every WRX has a hatchback version. I don't really know why everybody calls this one the hatch version, but you all know what I'm talking about. I actually really like the sedan version of this generation too. My friend Eric has one, and they're really cool cars. I have nothing bad to say about the Stinkeye. I think they're hated for absolutely no reason. Like, people never talk about these ones when they absolutely should. They're a bargain deal right now. They're under 10K all day, and around this, they're like cheaper than a Blobeye WRX is right now, which is mind-blowing. But either way, the next one is going to the next WRX. Of course, it is the Raptoreye. This is the one that everybody in the world drives now. I'm definitely got a little bit burnt out on these cars because I see them everywhere, dude. Like, everybody owns a Raptoreye WRX nowadays, but they are still very cool cars. They're so far, in my opinion, one of the best. In terms of performance, in my opinion, they are the best WRX. But in terms of like looks and everything else, obviously I don't think that is the case. But they are very, oh my God. They were obviously they sold very well for a reason. They are a very good car, so it makes sense why people like them so much. I just don't think they're as best as the Blobeye, which is obviously the last WRX that I haven't talked about yet. But they're very cool. I love the Raptoreyes. Would I own one? Probably. If I was, yeah, I would definitely own a Raptoreye. If they got cheaper, I would own one for sure. Coming in at 4th place is going to the 1st generation of the Subaru Legacy. If you don't know what makes the 1st gen Legacy so great, you need to do some research. It is the car that everybody that started, you know, rally racing. Colin McRae drove one. Oh my God, this thing was a monster. It was so cool, and it looks really good. It has that retro styling to it. It's obviously very good for rally racing. I love the 1st gen Legacy. I wish they never like steered away from the Legacy being a rally car and made all the other Legacies rally cars as well, because that would have been so cool, but they did, so that sucks. But yeah, I love the first gen Legacy so much, dude. It was hard not to putting it in the top 3, but the top 3 I think deserve it. Third place is the first gen BRZ. I love this car. It is such a, obviously this is like a Toyota Scion Subaru mashup, but I am just so happy that Subaru made this. You know, they never tried making a rear-wheel drive sports car that's like meant for the track. All their sports cars have been rally cars or something like that. And this thing was sick. I mean, yes, it obviously is low in horsepower, but that's not the point. It's a lightweight car with low horsepower that you rip around corners. It was meant to be a track car, and the fact that Subaru did that, still to this day, I think is amazing. I think it gets way too much hate, the BRZ. And I also think a lot of people don't understand what the BRZ was built for. I love it a lot. I think the BRZ absolutely deserves third place. And it looks really cool. And it handles really good, which is what I like. I like low power, well handling cars. So absolutely deserves it. But either way, second place is going to the 22B STi. Or in general, I'm gonna bunch these up into one big group. The whole GC line of the Impreza. I'm just gonna, like I said, I'm just gonna bunch it up all into one group, but we're gonna talk about the 22B STi. Obviously, this is Subaru's best on paper car ever built. There's no argument there. It is the best. This is the most influential, impactful, insane car that Subaru's built. If you don't know what makes the 22B STi so great, I made a whole deep dive on it. This thing is crazy, okay? But this whole GC line is a very good Subaru iteration. I absolutely love this car, but there is one car I love just a little bit better than the 22B STi, and it is the Blobeye WRX STi. This is why I told you guys that this list is all based on personal opinion, because it makes no sense why I love the Blobeye so much, but I do. I think it is my absolute favorite Subaru of all time. It is fantastic. The looks are incredible. It's got that perfect mixture of like, it's a little bit old, so it has all the old tech in it, but it's new enough to be fast. It is great. I freaking love the Blobeye. Every time I see a Blobeye in person, I get so happy. I would love to own one day, but they're stupid price now, which is so annoying. They used to be really cheap. They used to be under 5K. Now they're sitting around like $7,000 because everybody else likes them too, which sucks. I wish everybody else didn't like what I like because I want to own them. But no, it is a great car. In my opinion, it's absolutely the best Subaru ever built. Is it the actual best at all? I am not saying that. This is not, it's not even the best WRX in terms of performance, but I personally like it the best, which is why I put it as first place. I think it's an incredible car, and it's just, even if it isn't like super incredible in terms of performance, the looks carry it to first place itself. You know what I mean? It just looks good. But that's about it, guys. Let me know if you guys enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this. Let me know what other car brands you'd like to see me rank all of their cars in. I really kind of like doing this. It's a fun little mini series we started. So if you want to see anything else, definitely let me know. But either way, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. What was I was about to say something too. I was gonna try and mention something at the end here. I'm forgetting about it now though. I don't know. Well, hopefully tomorrow is going to be the top 70 video for the 70,000 subscribers special. Oh my god, dude, fuck these roads. Thanks. There it goes. I'm gonna rip that off. My fender liner just popped out of my wheel there, so I'm gonna go into this parking lot and rip it off. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate it. Das Vidania, and have a nice night.